Queensland authorities are working to once again contain an outbreak of the deadly Hendra virus. They've quarantined a farm south of Brisbane where a horse that died this week had tested positive to the virus. All those who've come in contact with that animal, including the vet who made the diagnosis, are being checked. As Pip Courtney reports, the virus, which is transmitted from bats to horses, has claimed the lives of 4 people in Queensland since it was first identified in 1994.
An outbreak of the deadly Hendra virus has triggered a major biosecurity operation at 2 properties south of Brisbane.
Health officials are about to begin testing people for Hendra virus. Has confirmed that a horse has died of the disease.
8 people may have been exposed, 1 significantly.
It's the news Queensland's horse owners and vets dread. Another outbreak of the virus scientists say is worse than Ebola.
Basically, your lung is flooded with the liquid, so you cannot sort of breathe properly. And then, in a late stage, if the virus does cross the so-called blood-brain barrier, and then it's almost no return, because then your brain will malfunction and you eventually sort of die of encephalitis.
This baffling, terrifying virus first appeared in Brisbane in 1994. It killed horse trainer Vic Rail and 14 horses. Vet Dr Peter Reid says he'll never forget it.
I had 7 horses die in less than 12 hours. It was a catastrophe, just absolutely catastrophe. But certainly we'd never seen a virus do anything like that before. And no virus had ever been known to be directly transmissible from horses to humans back then. That was the first in the world.
There have now been 13 outbreaks in Queensland, from Cairns in the far north to the southeast corner near Brisbane. As well, there's been 1 outbreak in northern New South Wales. 32 horses have died or been put down, and of the 7 people infected, 4 have died. The latest outbreak occurred an hour south of Brisbane.
On Saturday last, a vet was called to a sick horse at Kerry, which is just south of Beaudesert. The horse was unsteady on its feet, it was depressed and not eating. Because the horse was being adjusted onto a property, the owner decided to take it home and took it home to a property at Bidadabar, and that horse died on Sunday.
On Tuesday, tests confirmed the cause was Hendra.
Well, certainly I think some people were caught by surprise. It's a little further inland than previously has happened, but the potential has always been there for it to happen anywhere in Queensland.
How horsey is Beaudesert?
Oh, incredibly horsey. It's probably one of the most diverse areas in Queensland for there's a lot of big thoroughbred studs there, there's a lot of quarter horse and Arab and all sorts of different kinds of breeds there.
Ray Webber owns the property where the dead horse contracted Hendra.
Absolutely blown away. I didn't think it'd be that. Shook me, shook everybody.
He's not surprised to see the bat-borne virus this far south.
There's bats everywhere, mate, we got massive fig trees here and all that sort of stuff.
Once Hendra was identified, Biosecurity Queensland quarantined the Webber property and the one at Bidadabar where the horse died. It's tested the 25 horses at those 2 properties.
We do 3 rounds of tests to confirm that they are free from Hendra virus. And so the horses in the area, the other horses in the area, the other properties, we're aware this is a big horse area, can feel confident that the disease is under control.
Based on their contact with the infected horse, Ray Webber and 7 others were judged to be at risk of getting Hendra.
The level of exposure that those people have had has been very thoroughly examined. They all have low to moderate risk and low to moderate exposure.
We've just had the doctors and that here now, so they're all pretty good, and they reckon the risk rate to that is not too bad.
It could be 6 weeks before the results are in.
We really won't know until all these blood tests and stuff come back. But like I say, I'm concerned about all my friends, the vet, all them fellas.
Most at risk is the vet treating the horse before it died.
You feel numb. I think anyone who's been involved in these cases will tell you the same thing, and you do go into a bit of a daze. You're not quite sure what to think, mix of emotions.
Some good news on the horizon, though, is that scientists have developed a vaccine which should be ready by 2013.
Anyone who works with horses won't really feel any safety until we have a vaccine and we are using it. And our view would be that it become compulsory to vaccinate all horses, just so that doesn't happen again.
Ewan, Maskrey's business partner, agrees.
Because otherwise you're going to continue to get horses slip through the system, and unless it's legislated for at some level, then and it's mandatory, then you're still going to have people exposed, and it's going to keep costing the government money for clean-up and everything else.
Debbie Decker says while costly, it's worth pushing for.
Well, if it was a workable way of making it compulsory, I suppose I'd love it, because the more the vaccine is used, the safer everybody is. It protects our horses, and it also makes it more commercially viable.
She predicts eventually horses won't be able to attend shows unless they're vaccinated.
I think certainly the larger events, something like the Equine, it certainly would be in their best interest to know that all horses were vaccinated and therefore Hendra free before they came on. And things like Equestrian Australia with their bigger events.
The organisation representing Australia's equine vets doesn't support mandatory vaccination. But the vet who witnessed Hendra's awful toll 14 years ago does.
I think it should be definitely mandatory in Queensland, because this is where most of the cases of Hendra virus have occurred. We know that vats that carry the virus, across various other states. So, whilst the risk is low in those states, it's very real, and the latest case at Beaudesert demonstrates that. We don't know where it's going to crop up again. It can crop up in New South Wales, it can crop up in Victoria, anywhere, in Northern Territory, top of Western Australia.
Queensland Racing says mandatory vaccination will be hard to sell interstate.
Well, I think that highlights the issue about addressing the particular risk. Where is the risk of the virus occurring most likely to arise? And people in those sort of areas would probably be questioning the need for mandatory vaccination in their areas. The cost is certainly going to be a factor, but also the practical approach as to whether some program of mandatory vaccination can effectively be rolled out.
Peter Reid believes if vaccination is optional, vets will just change the way they work.
Well, they could be just refusing to attend the horse. Simple as that. Because veterinarians will be insisting that vaccinations in risky situations become mandatory, compulsory even.
The vaccination issue is a year or two away. For those exposed to Hendra virus last weekend, the most pressing issue is getting the all clear in the next 6 weeks.